What is up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday night because no matter how good it is, it's about to get a whole lot better.
Woo
So
woo.
it's gonna be so good because I got some stories to tell. Don's got some stories to tell, and we're going to take you through an emotional ride of lows and highs and wonderments and joys of AV equipment and wonderful, beautiful things that you can't imagine because that's what we do, right, Don?
Think, if you will, a journey full of enchantment, a journey of epic proportions.
I don't.
Here's an audio video adventure with
I'm
Jiles and
talking out my
Don.
butt. Talking out my butt. All right,
Roll
so
the dice.
that's right. So we got a bunch of folks already out there. You guys are lined up. Love to see it. Mad Piranha is hanging
What's
out with
up?
us. Love it when he's here. Hi-Fi Haven is here with us.
Hi
Um,
Haven, the
and
man.
then there's a
I think
lot of
the man.
folks out there that aren't saying anything though. And
Hmm.
I'm calling them all out right now. If you're watching and you're not talking in the comments, you're not chatting with us, then you're hurting my feelings. I want to hear from you. I really do. How can we support you if we
He,
don't know what's on your mind?
he is very hurt, and he calls me and he's like, "I just need to talk, Don. I don't know why they won't comment. I'm so nice to him, and I'm talking him through it. I've got his back on that, and together we can get Jiles through this.
I'm depending on the community to do this for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love
uh,
the trolls the best. Really,
you love the what the
the
best?
trolls the best. Yeah. What would the
Oh,
internet be without the trolls?
well, it's like I always say, and I know I've said this to you before. If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
Oh yeah, I got my share of
You,
haters.
you gotta have a few. And I have got mine. There's this one dude that loves to call me a clown. He's always like, this clown. And I'm all like, if you really want me to wear the makeup, just ask nicely.
Pennywise was a clown.
Yeah,
Mm.
I can just wear it if you want me to. But he's like, yeah, this clown. I see him as like maybe he's like an older gentleman, and like for him, that's like it's stinging jab, right? I'm gonna call him
Hey,
a
boomer.
clown or a joker.
Okay, boomer.
All right. Can you say that? I guess you can because you're one of them.
So let me be clear. We might be defunded, but fuck you, Jiles. How about that? I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X, motherfucker. X, bitch. X men.
Oh, what? I'm Gen X
Boomer
too.
ass.
Yeah, we're
Friar Tuck. All right.
we're the last generation of feral children, I guess they say.
Yeah, we're the last generation that didn't come home until the streetlights came on. Literally.
That's exactly what happened. And my mom would go outside and yell or whistle. And if I didn't hear that,
Oh, my mom wouldn't yell. She just whipped my ass when I got home. You know what? My mom, she started with like rulers, and then she went to like yardsticks, and then discovered after one Christmas the Hot Wheels track made of plastic. And she then became
Ooh,
Indiana Jones.
that's a good one. I never thought about that one
Oh,
before.
dude, you can't break it.
Yeah, that's awesome. My mom she would just say, "Go get a switch." Then I have to go outside, and I had to tear one off myself and take the
No,
leaves
yeah,
off.
that's
It was
old
like
school.
a psychological
That's
attack.
old school. Yeah,
Yeah, psychological.
my mom was just like, "I'm gonna wait till your dad gets home." That was the worst.
Sure, yeah. No,
Yeah,
my
that was
mom,
the
my
worst.
mom would just whip the crap out of me right there. She'd be like, "I ain't waiting for nobody." Then eventually, I got old enough. I'm like, "All right, just bring it. It's not gonna hurt that bad."
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you
I'll
did.
just take it. I'll take it.
You
All
ever
right.
see the movie Steel Magnolias? My mom was from Chicken Bristle, Kentucky, and was literally a steel magnolia. Like the sweetest lady, make homemade pies, biscuits and gravy, but she was a vicious woman when called upon.
I believe it. Who knew the Hot Wheels track was a thing for
Oh, dude, the Hot
everybody?
Wheels track was the worst, dude, because it didn't break. And thank God there wasn't Health and Human Services and was it DCF or whatever back then, because I'd have like welts on me and
Mine was all like natural materials, and you guys got the plastics coming out.
like I watched Roots and had flashbacks and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was bad, dude.
This is my mother. Oh. All right. Let's turn the wheel and put the boat in a different
Tighten up.
direction. Yeah, I know that's heavy, man. So, I will talk about my week thus far, and I just returned from a impromptu road trip, and we talked about this a little bit before the show,
Mhm.
to visit RBH. And for those that don't know, RBH is a speaker manufacturer located in Utah, in Layton, which I now know, and I've been there. And they make a plethora of speakers, both subwoofers and towers, and on walls
And
and in
tons of
walls and on the
architectural,
ceilings, and
tons
yeah.
of yeah, they're and they will custom build as an integrator. And again, I always have to pre-qualify because a lot of people don't know, home theater guy or whatever. I mean, we do everything from theaters to lighting to shades to automation. They will build you. They built me a 16-foot wide LCR soundbar for a project one time, 16-foot wide, in 5 pieces. That's really cool because to have a company that if you wanted anything built, they could build it for you. They built me custom LCRs that played 136 dBs for a Keystone Theater in the biggest house in America. I did. So they're a great company. They've been around since the 70s.
Yeah,
They,
forever.
yeah, they were an OEM manufacturer. They used to build like Macintosh's speakers, and that type of thing. So they're a really good company. They don't market real well, or they don't have the budget for it or whatever. But they're we call them the best kept secret in audio because pound for pound, dollar for dollar, it's really hard to find a speaker that will even match what they put out in that price range. They're that good.
Yep. And so you can kind of look on from the outside in and see the speakers. You can look online, you can go to the website, you can see their stuff. You might go somewhere and somebody will have them, you can hear them. But what was really cool is I got to see the other side, right? So I got to sit down and talk with Shane, and Shane is the designer there. He's the engineer. He's kind of the brains behind everything. And the guy's super sharp, right? I mean, they've got this new speaker that they were putting together and for a customer, and he was getting it all dialed in, and he was showing me all of the DSP because this was like the fully active version, right? So it's really kick ass, and he's going through and talking about the time alignment, this, that, blah, blah. I'm like, oh man, this guy's got it going on, and just he's like, you turn it on, you can turn it off, you blah, blah, blah. And it was really good. I mean, just everything they have is really nice, and I got to go to the back. So, they have the crew back there building stuff, right? So they have a full cabinet shop, and, they have the cutout location. So they got the full CNC deal, right? And, they were
Everything's made of HDF,
not MDF.
HDF, which is substantially more expensive and better material. May I say something on the FIR filtering and all that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So I right now I'm listening to this through a set of RBH 61AX, part of their Unrivaled line, which is their kind of their higher tier. These are like a studio monitor. I did a written review on them. If you want to check it out on Audioholics,
I've got it open right now.
So they're I mean, and I've since added side panels that they offer to add a little bit more weight. It's like a Corian type material. It looks cool. There's like Batman studio monitors, but so when you're dealing with sound, we all know frequencies travel at different speeds. Where our high frequencies, our mid-range frequencies, they have different wavelengths on that, and then low frequencies. So those are usually dealt with in a few different ways. And, we can go to the Focal and now SVS and even Arendelle and some other companies where they try to time align that mechanically, which works pretty good. Or you can work on your crossover to try to time align that. So FIR filtering takes the signal apart, rebuilds it, cleans it up, but it really works with their processing to time align that sound as it comes out. And we all feel those of us that are kind of deep in the audio business kind of feel like active speakers, whether it's outboard amplification with DSP processing or inboard built-in, is really going to be the future. And you're starting to see the proliferation of that. And more like Focal just came out with a flagship. It's been prevalent in studio monitors. KEF, even B&W, tons of companies all have these type speakers, usually small monitors. We're going to see that become more and more apparent. And what's cool about RBH is they've pretty much been on the cutting edge of that. And, we're on our like second and third generation of those speakers that feature that. And Shane is like the nicest genius in the world. And
He's
we
so
all
nice.
voted is the two nicest guys is Teo from Audioholics or Shane. And they're both incredible, but we've awarded Shane the nice guy award, but just a genius speaker designer, just a genius, lives for it. His dad was an audiophile.
Mm-hmm. And for folks that don't know, FIR stands for finite impulse response.
Mm-hmm.
So
impulse response.
Finite impulse response. So you got to go look it up, everybody. Educate yourself. And the word of the day is plethora. So Mad Prana's got that.
The word of the day is plethora. It was ominous the other day. C-Big, I don't know where in Florida yet, but I have 821s as rears at my casa. You're more welcome. I live in the Tampa Bay area. I open my home up all the time. I get to know somebody before I invite them to my house, but I'm not too worried about it. It's like, I want to come see your system, Don. But I do, if you ever want to come listen, I've got SVTRs, 61s. I've got the 821s. I've got quite a bit of RBH and enjoy them on a daily basis here. So, and that's an open invitation to anybody that I'm at Wesley Chapel. This is kind of the north part of Tampa. And right now I've got the Arundel 1528 set up. I've got Focal. I've got Dolly. I've got, we accumulate stuff. So if anybody ever wants to listen, and just hit me up. Oh, you're in Sarasota, man, dude. I'm right up. I'm in Sarasota all the time working. Please. Great. Sarasota, Florida is an amazing area, by the way. Beautiful.
That's super cool. So do you think those speakers would be better than the Dayton audio whatever's I've got on my desk now?
I'm good. Thanks, Mad Piranha. I'm a firearms instructor and this and that, but you're very safe when you're here. Let's put it that way.
It doesn't even need the firearms. It's that sword that you got to be scared about.
I've got lots of swords. I showed you the video of my medieval fighting I've done for 25 years, like full contact. But were you at the Dayton speakers versus what?
Versus the monitors you have on your desk.
Oh, you mean the Daytons with the new ones with the big drive, the big
those not even those. That's their little new powered desktop speakers.
I've never heard them. I doubt it, dude. These things are like serious.
How do you?
So I tested these in here is near field. Then I tested them in my 2-channel area, which is bigger. Then I put them in my system. I took out the Focal Canta number 2s at $11,000 a pair, and then I use those as mains. So when I do reviews, I like having multiple systems, and if the speaker's movable, like the SVTRs, at 250 pounds each, or the Arundels, I try to move them and listen to them in different areas because speakers behave differently in different areas. If they work good in a small room, we put them in a big room. And if they work good in a big room, we put them in a medium-sized room. And really, just from experience, man, that's a great way to really evaluate how a speaker handles and deals close to the wall, away from the wall, that type of thing when I do that. So
that's cool. So how do you have these connected to your PC, right? So on the back of these, they're powered, but they only have XLR in. So
right.
So what do you got? Some kind of adapter in the middle?
Well, I'm getting ready to test for review. Sound Blaster's got a new little sound card. There's a lot of like DAC sound cards, outboard sound cards. Right now, I've got a Focusrite. If you're familiar with the Focusrite Scarlett, so I've got that run, 1/4 inch balanced, and that goes to a breakout cable to 2 XLRs, right? It's a pre-made cable. 1 XLR goes to the monitors, which I run full range, but they have 8 DSP settings and they have 80 hertz crossover, low pass, blah, blah. I just run them full range. And then the other 2 go to a RBH reference 12-inch sub that has XLRs left and right. So I'm sending the left and right stereo from that to them. And then I've got it balanced in really nice. It sounds killer. So when I'm working every day in the real world, and I'm on my big ultra widescreen monitor and I've got a set of plans, or I'm designing a theater room or whatever, doing a spreadsheet, I listen to Qobuz or Tidal, usually Qobuz, and let their algorithms so I can listen to music because, you know, I'm 70-30 music and cinema, where I know a lot of people are different. And if I hear something good, I turn it up a little bit. And if it sounds great here, I add it to a playlist. I have like a temporary playlist, and I go listen to it in the other systems. And then if it's worthy, I deem it worthy, I put it in one of my publicly available playlists. And that's cool. I mean, that to me, that's audio heaven. That's audio heaven.
That is super cool. Now to roll back to the story. So I got to go over and meet the folks and, you know, see the facility, right? And it was cool. You know, I watched them cut stuff out on the CNC. They've got an awesome paint booth that I'm super jealous of. I mean, you know, it's fully vented and everything. You go inside, and you put the suit on, and you hang stuff. I mean, it's awesome. They got the finish shop and just the whole.
Did they let you hotbox it? Like go in there?
I did not go in there and hotbox. That would have been
float around. No,
that would have been the thing, right? They actually have a special vent where you can hook up your special materials that you bring for hotboxing, so you don't have to huff paint if you don't want to. But no, it was super cool. And then, you know, met all the guys, and I got to see, because I'd wanted to see their new 21-inch, right? Or I guess it's new still. Dude, it's just a beast.
It's you know, it's not the biggest sub out there, and there's, you know, I'm a huge fan of JTR RTJ. Jeff's a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of a better quality sub. I mean, there's probably sub that's equal, but and I love the guys at GSG. I think they're kicking ass. They're doing great, you know, per listen. But so the reason this sub came about, I'm gonna tell a little story. I was doing the largest house in America. We're doing a big theater with RBH. RBH did all the speaker, and it's a big room. It's 13,500 cubic feet. And we were thinking about even OEM and some JTRs and whatnot. I was working with Matt Pose was the lead designer on it. And Shane's like, no, I'll build big subs. So Shane goes into his mad scientist mode, and he starts testing drivers, and he builds two. Now these were ported. The ones that you buy now are sealed, which I prefer. Right. But for this application, we were really worried about filling this space. It's got a mezzanine, a big balcony. It's huge. It's a huge room. And so we've got two 21s under the platform that are ported, which are basically the ported version of what you can buy now. Then we have 8 12s, which they built that go under a stage, because it's a dual purpose room. It has a stage with a piano on it, literally, and curtains. And then we have a 220-inch motorized, acoustically transparent Severson screen that drops down. And they built these massive LCRs for it. But that's where that sub kind of came about. Then Shane just kind of ran with it and really fine-tuned it, redesigned the driver, or worked with a company to redesign a driver that uses a really not a huge magnet.
It's a neo magnet. I looked at it.
It's cool. It's like an powerful.
Yes, open
architecture.
Yeah, but you can see the side of it.
And tuned it, and it is not just a big, powerful sub that will comfortably play into the infrasonic frequencies. It is a extremely musical sub, fast, accurate. I mean, it's a fantastic product. And he's even building duals now. Dual 21s, like our friend Brian, who's going to be on my channel a lot, the mystery installer. So it's a great sub. It's among the finest subs on earth. It's not cheap, 10 large for, then you need an amp. But I mean, you heard it. What do you think?
Oh, it's awesome. And, he was telling the story when they were doing the CEA 2010 testing. And so it was doing 100 decibels at 4 hertz. And that, and still within the distortion boundary for the CEA 2010 spec, right? So they weren't, it's non-distorted. And he said it just destroyed him.
It's nuts.
It just he's
Shane, like, I'm still waiting on mine to compliment my 18s. Everybody else has got one. No, it's a killer sub.
Put me in line too.
No. You get behind me.
Yeah, put me in line behind you. Absolutely.
I've earned it. It's a great sub, great company. They're like family to me. They're all real good friends of mine. Kenny, I talk to Kenny almost every day. The kid's a genius. I mean, you should see the video work he does. Like, he's made little movies and stuff. I mean, Don't get your mind dirty. They're good. He's Mormon. They're good,
Good,
clean
good,
movies.
wholesome movies.
Unbelievable videographer and photographer, audio guy, builds his own crossovers. He's got this killer setup at his house. I mean, Shane is just, he's family and he's amazing. And like, he comes and tweaks and calibrates my system. You know, it's pretty cool. Is sitting on the couch, having dinner. He loves when my girlfriend makes like clam chowder. It's like the best in the world. And we come over and he drinks his Coke Zero, because that's, you know, that's living tipping tipsy. And sits there, and Shane obsesses, and man, he makes stuff sound good. It's cool. And I wish more people would really look at RBH instead of, and all these are great speakers, Paradigm, Klipsch, Kef, Focal, whatever, Stark. But I wish they'd throw that hat in the ring and really hear some RBHs. And they've got, one of the problems I think they've run into is like the aesthetics. It's more, they can make you anything you want as long as it's square. But yeah, they're starting to kind of angle.
Like the Volvo.
Well, boxy, good. Right, from the movie. Yeah. But they're starting to add side panels and angles. They're just legit. They're very, very legit. They use a lot of drivers in their designs. Their crossovers are all hand built. They're the highest quality. Even Danny would approve of their crossovers that they do. It's a great product. And if you guys are in the market and looking for something, I would say please at least consider them and try to seek out a listening session with the RBH, because it's a legit product.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it'd be cool. I haven't heard them. I saw them, but they have the on-wall version of their, I don't know. You know, it's got the ribbon tweeter or the AMT or whatever it is, and then 2 8s or something like that.
Yeah, it's the A21. That's what I have in my surrounds. That thing kicks ass.
Yeah, and the on-wall version is only like, you know, 6 inches.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like, I mean, it's very narrow, but they're some of the best surrounds. I mean, they're not just surrounds. They would make substantial LCRs for a big theater, 5,000-6,000 cubic foot. They're just that strong. I mean, Shane Lee just did his whole theater in the smaller version with the dual 6.5s but those have the big Modus Canum or whatever, the big giant AMT tweeter, which has about 5.5, 6 times the surface area of a 1-inch dome tweeter. Plays down very low, extreme power handling. You know, compression drivers are always going to give you the most output. And we all know that. I mean, that's just by nature. However, I feel they need heavy equalization, unless you'd like that sound. Who am I to say it's bad or good? But, you know, I don't prefer a horn or a compression speaker. I just don't. I never have.
I don't either. I like drums or AMTs.
Some guys do, and that's cool. But they give you, with that big tweeter and those 8s, they give you output similar, very dynamic output similar to a compression type driver, which is cool. So if you like to crank it up and have a speaker still maintain itself and not compress and do all that, it's a good product, man. So
yeah, I was super impressed by everything that I heard there. And you know, it was a really, really fun trip and really nice to kind of see behind the curtain and sit down with the folks and talk a little bit. So yeah, and you know, I got the full 2-channel demo and the full theater demo and okay, you know, the whole and the technical talk, and yeah, it was super cool. Yeah, so that's the big stuff in my world. What about you? What's new for you this week?
Well, I didn't do much. I shot up to New York City and went to the Macintosh House of Sound for a couple of days.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Kick ass.
Nice.
New York City. I wouldn't want to live there. Absolutely love to visit. Awe-inspiring city. Great food. People are cool, believe it or not. You think, you know, that if you've never been there, you should go. It's not like it's exactly like you imagine it, but a little bit nicer. The House of Sound is in this, I think, 4 or 5 story, absolutely gorgeous, fully super high class, beautiful building. And it is House of Sound. I mean, from the ground floor, you got a full tilt theater with all Sonus Faber and Macintosh. And they've got several audio rooms with Sonus Faber speakers, Michi components, because I think they import Michi, which is Rotel's high end, which is killer gear.
It's beautiful too.
It's beautiful. And dude, Sonus Faber, they're great speakers. I have always loved them, but their craftsmanship and the beauty and the quality of their cabinet, each one, even their entry level stuff's a work of art. And then we got to hear the big Macintosh speakers driven by gigantic Big Mac Attack monoblock amplifiers that, the line array type speakers. Those things were great. Then it all crescendoed to the time with the Sonus Faber flagship $750,000 speaker system driven by, it was $1 million room, basically. All the best that Macintosh has. It was a great experience, man. This guy named Franz, little Austrian guy with his little dog. He's the caretaker. He's like a Renaissance man in every way you can be. And he made us a big breakfast. Like, it was gourmet, cooked us up like some salmon over, creamed, squash. And it was awesome, dude. It was a fantastic trip and highly recommend it. Everybody's going to say, oh, you mean the Bose House of Sound? Listen, Macintosh has been bought and sold several times. The company that previously owned them was just an investment company that bought them. And now Bose, good, bad, or indifferent, is still an audio company. And they're excited, cautiously optimistic about the investment of R&D and marketing and more money put into this legendary American brand. And I think it's probably going to be a good thing. At least I hope it is. I don't think Bose is going to pull a Klipsch on them and destroy the companies, because that's what Klipsch does. But
yeah, I heard that they were going to take on those Sonus Faber speakers, the concertos, or what are the big ones. They were going to put the Bose Wave radio on top of each one as kind of a topper.
I knew it was coming. You can't help yourself, can you, Jiles?
Why about the parallel?
How you going to get the blue lights on a sound bar?
I want the Macintosh green lights on a soundbar. What are you talking about? That'd be awesome.
Well, bluish green, whatever, dude.
Bluish green, yeah.
But I tell you this, and I've been in audio for over 30 years, selling the highest Krell, Mark Levinson, Class A, you name it. Macintosh likes to get a bad rep because it's Macintosh. Oh, it's not that good, and blah blah blah. No. Macintosh makes killer audio gear. It is built like a tank. They've got some unique patents and circuitry, and there's a pride of ownership. It's the Harley Davidson of audio. It's the Rolex of audio. You could have a Krell or a Mark Levinson or a Class A or PS Audio. 99% of people aren't going to, 99.5 won't know what it is, right? You go into, half the people are probably going to know it's Macintosh because their uncle, their cousin, their dad had one.
Yeah.
It's been around forever.
And
it's beautiful. There's something mesmerizing about watching these bluish green lights, like while you're listening to music, and it's good gear. I don't care what anybody says. I'll argue that, and it's built to last. If it's not your favorite, cool. But it really is, great gear, and it was a great experience. Yeah. New York City is awesome. I definitely wouldn't want to live there. I don't think I'd ever sleep because it's really noisy. But man, it's cool. It's beautiful. Manhattan, anyways.
Well, I'm glad you had a great time on the trip. That's super duper cool. Very, very exciting. And man, you're absolutely right about the brands. Those are all top notch. I mean,
it's a luxury product, dude. I mean, it's not
really great.
It's not for everybody. If you're just a dude trying to buy a receiver and a couple speakers, make that a goal that you want to have one day. It's not made for everybody. Not everybody can afford it, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're going to enjoy your experience any less. But a lot of people work hard their whole life, and they want a Mac system because their dad had one or their uncle had one, and it's cool. And if you buy a Mac, statistically speaking, 20 years from then, you'll still have it, and it will probably still work.
Yeah,
you can't say that about a lot of components.
I've got 3 systems that I want to have in my life, and I've never had any of the 3. So Macintosh system, I want a TIAC system. If you remember TIAC,
they're still around. I know they're making great gear.
Yeah, and a Techniques.
And it's all TIAC's all little now. It's really good, and a really good hairline.
There you go. Right on. I don't. Well, actually, I have got a really good hairline.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
wow.
I am blessed with 2 hairlines.
Yeah, all right, Friar Tuck. Oh, right to Danny, Domine Patria, Domine
I gotta
Homo.
grow it down on the side. It's gonna be like long. It's just gonna be from
Oh,
here down. Yeah,
bless
put
you,
on the
my
little
son.
pad and
No, but
oh,
no, TIAC, my friend was the rep for a long time. Almost had some of the demo. It's real compact, great product. Techniques, I don't know if they're the same companies they were. I don't know if somebody bought the name, but
I'm
they're
sure
all. I
somebody
mean,
bought the name.
Techniques is top shelf gear now. It's super high end. There's a lot of comparable products to Macintosh. So I'm not saying it's the end all of everything. I mean, it really is personal taste, and it has its own sound. Very low distortion, but you know, love what you have and be happy. But yeah,
That's right.
Macintosh, don't knock it just because it's a big popular brand. It's really legit.
It absolutely is, and it it's got that look too. I mean, it's got the
I,
sound, right? It does what it's supposed to do. Man, whoever came up with that in the 60s or whenever it was, that somebody said, "Oh, let's make it look like this,"
well,
that was
everything had a meter on it back then. It's just the color of the light, you know.
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
meter is actually a legit meter. Oh boy,
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
nano
Right on.
ones.
Joey G's here with us, so welcome, welcome to the show.
Go
Glad
be
you
on
were
the
with
back up. Drug free used to put the crack up.
All right, rocking my 56-year-old Bose Series 1901s. That's cool. With a pair of Macintosh MC50s that are about 50 years old, both retro modded. Love it. That's super
And I
cool.
got thoughts on the 901s. I've had a pair.
There's the big huge ones with like a million
No,
speakers in it, right?
they're not that huge. I mean, they're so they have 8 4-inch full range paper cone drivers that fire back, and
Mm-hmm.
then they have a 1 4-inch paper cone driver that fires forward, and then they have a. They were the first to have like a DSP box. I don't know if it was a D at a DSP, but it was a processing box. Without that box, they're a hot mess. They're not a whole lot better with the box, but they are cool to fill a room with sound. Like you're not going to sit with a fine glass of wine and enjoy the sound stage because that's not what they're built for. They're built to fill a room with good, clean sound. They don't play real low. They don't play real high. Not being cliche, but they were a groundbreaking product in their time, and a lot of people dig them, man. I mean, they got like the ashtray stands on them. In fact,
Right.
they're in the process of designing a new modern version of the 901. I don't know if it's going to be a mainstay, but it'd be exciting because when Bose wants to do something good, they can. It's just, they make some of the best headphones, is a fine box of wine. That's pretty funny,
Okay,
actually.
that's
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 pretty funny.
that is
But,
really funny.
dude, I'm just so sick of the negativity. Oh, you got clips here, you got Bose, and dude, so what? Like what you got, But that's cool
I did
with
gotta
the
put it
old
under
Mac.
bed.
Trying to be nice. They just
Oh,
won't
God.
let me.
That's one set of speakers that I've always wanted, a pair of 901s, maybe the version 6s or something like that, that I've never had, but I always thought that'd be really cool, and I didn't know they were going to come out with a new version. That's even cooler.
They're working on with an industrial designer. And I mean, dude, early in my career, I sold a bunch of Bose lifestyle systems.
Mhm.
Um, and people they've built a name up where they're synonymous with high quality sound. And we all yeah. But that's pretty cool achievement, dude. I mean, it's one of the better known brand names in the world. And not so much in the last decade or so, but in years past, people would be like, "Oh, these compared to the Bose 901s." I'm like, dude, they don't. But yeah, that's pretty cool to make an achievement like that. I mean, they dominated, but from the late '60s when they were introduced in the '60s through the '70s. I mean, that was the speaker to have, dude. It was the Bose 901s with a big Marantz or some kind of big funky. You could do your cocaine and then rub your carpet and
Sure, yeah.
get your polyester suit on. I mean, that was the ticket, dude, back then.
I would like to put down like a super thick green shag rug and get
Yeah,
a couple of the
I'm gonna
Bose
put on the
901s.
walls and just love the walls, man.
Oh, man.
So I could
Cool.
do
Well,
that.
that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you had a good time on the trip. Um, So I had a company reach out to me that I haven't talked to in a while, and we might be doing a fun little project together. So for folks that are into the speaker driver world, and I always mess their name up, but Celestian or Celestin,
Celestion.
Celestin,
Celestion. They've been around for
Celestion.
Celestion. They've been around forever. One, they're
Yeah,
probably been changed companies 37 times, but they were a legit higher end speaker, and they were a 70s, 80s kind of was their heyday. Then they kind of trickled. Then the name got cheap, like KLH. KLH
sure.
was a legit audio brand, and then it was cheap Walmart speakers for 5 speakers and a sub for $2.87. You know, but then now KLH is back, so that name has been transferred back and forth. So, but Celestion was a real deal back in the day.
Yeah, so
God, I don't
they
know. Oh,
you know so much stuff, man. uh,
no.
they've released a new series of drivers called the 10 squared, and one of them, the flagship, is the TSQ 2460 24-inch subwoofer driver. So if things work out the
Oh, I
way
saw that.
I plan for them to work out, I'll build a couple of 24-inch subwoofers and create some content around those, and put them through their paces. So that's exciting. I've always wanted to play with 24s. I've never played with 24s before, so it's coming. Boom.
Big, but I see you sniffing around GSG all the time. I see you sniffing.
Oh, dude, I made the first video for GSG that was ever made.
Did you?
I was there. I was the original champion for GSG. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they come a long way, man. They're good people. They're cool. They build some really great. You know, if you like to throw down, they make some big bada booms.
Yeah, and you know, I might actually reach out to Kevin and be like, "Hey, man, you know, will one of your 24-inch enclosures work well with this particular driver, right?"
Yeah.
And I might use that in the build. But I love, dude, he's just such a good dude over there. Love him to death. If anybody's looking to do some DIY stuff or even finish now, they got it.
Just remember, and people are going to be like, "Rah, bigger's not always better." If it's a legit 24, that's pretty awesome. But if it's just a, you know, driver pulled out of a concert speaker or some, like some companies use, that's not really, like, if you're just big, you know, but like big, but with piston, you know, like good min-max on it and whatnot. So, but GST does. What up, AA? A2?
He's only double A class. He still hasn't made it to the single A's. He's working his way up. He was triple A, now he's double A, and one day he'll just be A.
Double D's.
A. See, he recognizes Jiles as the OG GSG. Yeah, I remember I built their first 18-inch Marty enclosure that had the baffles that you screwed onto the front. You had to bolt them on. So it's like the super old school design. And then size matters, of course, maybe. So, and you know, as far as your comment around, you know, is it a legit 24 or not? That's part of what we'll get to the bottom of with the build, right? We'll see exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because the driver's big,
all no, big
I get you. Created equal.
There are horrible big drivers out there. And then there are small drivers that are just amazing. Yeah, and not to bring it back to RBH again, but their 12-inch reference top of the line, I forget what the model number is. That subwoofer is crazy. Yeah, the 12.
Oh, yeah, I've got one in my office right here. I've got two. I've got two dual 12s on my SVTRs, the bottom of it. There, I mean, so we've measured at Audioholics, and the dual 12 with the right power from RBH equals the output of an 18 of a sealed 18, but still, which is pretty cool. But it's very fast. Now it is a ported sub, but it uses a port like, it's a huge port tuned very low. And their drivers are, you saw them, they're very, very well made aluminum drivers that they use on them. So
yeah, and you know, for a while in my theater, I'm going to run the SFTRs. And you know, it's got the dual sealed 12-inch on the bottom. So those are going to be my front subs, right? So I'll have a tower on each side with those 2 sub modules. So I'll be running 4 of their 12s in the front, and then a couple of per listens and an M&K in the back, for 415s in the back. And that's
a lot of bass.
Been run for a while. So
yeah, those RBHs that you have are a lot of output. Like they're very fun speaker to have.
Yeah. Mad Piranha remembers the Kraken.
Really Kraken.
Yeah, so I built a big, humongous ported box from GSG, and I used the Dayton Audio Kraken 21-inch subwoofer in it, and then my wife painted a Kraken on the box.
Really?
Yeah,
you still have it?
No. The video is up on YouTube, so you can see it if you want to.
But you released the Kraken.
I did release the Kraken,
right? You. God's on fire tonight.
I released the Kraken. The Kraken is somewhere out in the wild now. I don't know whatever happened to it. So some guys bought it and they came and picked it up in the basement and they manhandled that thing out. And I was all impressed with their brute force and strength to move it all in one piece, because just the driver was like 80 pounds or something, and the box was another 240 or something. But they were straining and their veins came out, and I was all like, hey, you guys do it. It's good to be young again, huh? But I did it released, dude. Tonight this show's on fire. It amuses me, and that's all.
I told you, you bring my ass in, dude. It ain't gonna be no boring ass show. I'm being nice. I'm not even drinking anymore, dude.
Oh man, living the good, clean
some of
life.
my other streams from a while back. That's funny talking about Bose. The first YouTube video I ever did was like 2018 or 2019 with Gene, back when he had the cardboard Star Trek guys at his old house, and it was why do audiophiles hate Bose? And it's up to like 700,000 views now.
That's cool.
And, I'm all like a little nervous. It was my first YouTube video. It was that was a long time ago, but it was pretty crazy. He just did another video on Bose where he had like AI write a review of the Bose 901s. It's pretty funny.
That's cool.
I got him using Chat GPT to help, because it's a great editing tool. It's a great. If you're not using Chat GPT, you're just doing it wrong. And unless you're a plumber, you know what I mean? Like. It's a great, valuable resource.
Yeah, I have it fine-tune my emails and messaging and stuff. It does a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, oh my God, Don, you got so smart lately. I'm like, well, I've been studying and reading,
I've been working hard at it. I'm paying my monthly fee for the Chat GPT 4.0.
By the way, I got some of that supplement, that Alpha Brain that Joe Rogan and all that talk about.
Oh, sure.
The first supplement I've ever bought that actually works. Like I take that, I'm like, it's good, man. And I take that and take Adderall. Oh yeah, I'm like, it doesn't. It's a really good supplement. For me, I know everybody's body chemistry is different, but it's pretty cool, man. I dig it.
That's awesome.
I got no skin in that, but.
Right on. Now,
brought to you by Alpha Brain.
I got to get it. Hold on. He did Alpha Don. Here we go. Alpha Don. That's what we're going to start calling it now. Alpha Don. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the Tuesday night live stream with Don and Jiles, and we are talking everything hi-fi, 2-channel, home theater, CI, travel, and whatever else happens to float our boat, particularly large swords and fun TV shows and sci-fi and fantasy and D&D sometimes. If you have questions,
I got some thoughts on that too. I went and saw the new Gladiator.
So let me finish this spiel and then we'll talk about that, because I want to know about it. Yeah. So if you have questions, please feel free to put those out. Even if you don't have a question, please introduce yourself and become part of the community. Take part. We love to be a big family here, and we're here to support each other. And if we can be of service to you, let us know. And we do have one comment from Ted. Ted, welcome. Glad for you to join us. Hey guys, thoughts on the Mad VR NV Core? I have thoughts on them. I have one, but waiting for my calibrator to come in and set it up. So Don, you shook your head too, so you go first. But I got thoughts.
Well, Ted, can you type in? Do you have a scope screen?
So are you rolling 2.4-1 or 2.3.9 or something like that?
Yeah, it is. 2.4.0. It's a great product. I'm pretty good buds. Hey, Gene's calling. Hold on. Let's get Gene on. Hold on.
Oh, right on. He's all like, how
hey,
come
Gene.
I was not advanced?
Hey, I'm on a live stream with Jiles. Can you say hi to everybody?
Hey, how's it going, dudes?
Hey, jeans all fucked up. You've been hitting the sauce. You didn't hit the sauce, Gene.
he's having a good time. He's having a better time than us.
Potatoes. I'm gonna go work it out.
Good, because I'll just shoot your ass. You mess with me, dude. I ain't worried about no gym no more.
That's your only recourse.
It's plenty. It's plenty. Dude, I banged women stronger than you. Shut up.
Right. I wouldn't want to know what they look like.
Well, I mean, they're a little hairy, but other than that, it was in Thailand. Oh, sorry. Sorry,
you have to do this.
Bangkok with Giles' wife's tie, so I just put my foot in my mouth.
She will beat your ass.
I'm sure.
I'm
yeah,
saying.
It was a Sasquatch and a ladyboy. So, hey, let me run. I'll call you later.
I see it.
Yeah, that's my boy, dude.
So he says no scope, 16.9.
Yeah, sorry.
His trapezoidal room doesn't allow for one. 150 inch though. That's humongous.
Extreme. I mean, it's a great product. It doesn't have all the technology, but of course, it's a third of the price too. From Ryan to Joey Peacock and all the crew at Mad VR, they make a really good product. They stand behind it. I don't know what projector you have, Ted, but I think it's definitely going to be improvement over it, especially if you're going to have a professional ISF certified calibrator come out and do that. I mean, it's definitely the next step. I've seen and I've sold and theaters I've designed and to clients several of the Mad VR products. I've seen the core, but I haven't installed any yet. I'm sure that's coming soon, but I wholeheartedly recommend it. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so I agree with everything that you said. It doesn't have all of the horsepower that the top of the line models have, so you don't get all the AI stuff. And in the very near future, I was just talking to Rick about this, and he's working through building what I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's kind of the quick checklist, the easy setup version, right? Because if you go and look at Mad VR University, there's like 30 videos that you can watch to learn how to configure one of these things, and it's a lot, right? But there's a lot of people out there that want to touch and play with this thing themselves, right? So they want to DIY it, and especially if you buy a core, right? So we're going to have him on the show, and he's going to talk.
Brian?
Rick.
Oh, Rick Donor. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the owner, the big guy, right?
Well, so if you buy one, you'll probably talk to Ryan.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Ryan. Ryan's friend. Hopefully a lot of people know. Ryan's the one that's got the 50-inch subwoofer in the back of his theater. Mm-hmm. He was one of the founders of M-Wave, and he's an integrator like I am professionally. And he's a good dude. He'll walk you through the whole process on that.
Yeah, and so we're going to walk through kind of the easy setup steps here, right, on the show, so that people can just see it, right? So if they're on the, kind of on the edge and don't know which way to go, it might help them understand, what can be done and what it can do, and I particularly want to talk about how this is impactful for people on the other side of the coin, not the projector crowd, but the direct view display crowd, whether they're doing a television or a LED wall, that kind of, that's my passion, right? So we're going to talk through all of that, and I'm obviously going to create some additional content around it myself now that things are almost ready to rock and roll in the room. So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm really excited for that.
Still haven't seen any pics yet, dude. You promised pics.
Okay, I'll get you your pictures.
My God,
I'll get you the pictures. XIV, so I guess that's 14. Yeah, 14. Typhoon Ty. Welcome, Typhoon. Glad to have you on the show.
Typhoon.
And we were just talking about LED stuff, and this is the LED professional. It's in his name right there.
What explain LED professional?
Well, I will let if he's listening, he can
like large scale direct view LEDs, or
I believe so. Yeah, I believe he does all that stuff. I don't know all of the extent of everything that's going on there, but he is more than welcome to drop a comment in and let everybody know, because one of the things that I'm doing now, and this is just my call to y'all put this out in the universe, right? He's like, yes, I heard you chatting about LED display. He's like, I have to get on. I absolutely 100% believe that this is the future, right? There'll always be projector folks, right? they'll be the, just like their vinyl folks or whatever, and there will be a large contingent of projection folks, and in certain applications it's going to be still the right technology. But I think for all of the family rooms and the media rooms and even home theater, LED walls is going to be the way to go. So my goal is to bring a lot of that information out to people so you can kind of understand what's going on, because installing an LED wall is nothing like installing a television.
No, it's a process.
It's a whole different thing. It's not like installing a projector. It's all different, right? So there's new stuff that you need to understand and new things that you need to understand from the point of view of a DIYer, right? So, for folks with some bucks, they just come to Don and say, hey, I need this, make this happen. And you make it happen. And that's awesome, right? And if there are folks out there that want one of these and you have some bucks and you want
nobody's DIYing a direct view LED.
Not yet. Not until I get
so what you're saying is the truth. I've been saying that for 5 years since I did my first install with a direct view LED, and was like, wow, like full on 1200 nits, crazy, with just stunning. And and it's progressed a lot in 5 years.
Yeah.
And now they were power hogs. They run really, really hot. Heat a room up. They require a bunch of power, but every 6 months it gets a little better and a little better and a little better. And now you're going to see in the next few years, eventually, it's a slow burn to do it, but you're going to see a more consumer friendly, lower priced. It's never going to be low. It's going to be a while for it's a low priced. But look, now you can buy a 100-inch TV for $3,000. So I mean, dude, I was selling them for $90,000.
$1,600 you can get one now.
Well, can you? $1,600?
Dude, you can buy them in Walmart. The On brand has a 100-inch television in Walmart.
Dude, I did. Runco came out with a 90-inch plasma years ago, and I sold 3 of them at like almost $100,000. Now, plasma, we had to have a crane.
Yeah,
it was really heavy, but I was selling 60-inch Fujitsu plasma in 2003 for $20,000 or $18,000. Sold 5 or 6 of them. Like,
yeah.
Now you can buy it for $1,600, huh?
Yeah,
what brand is that?
There might be even a $1,300 one. I'd have to go back and look, but I want to help people understand this stuff, and I want to understand it better myself. Right? I don't have a processor right now, and I want to dig into one of those and figure all this stuff out. So I'm looking for those LED manufacturing partners. The vast majority of them are in Shenzhen, China. Right? That I can.
Yeah, like Unilumin is the largest in the world. That's the product that I'm the most familiar with.
Yeah, and there's a ton of them, right? So like Typhoon here, he's one person you can talk to about this stuff. There's like CanBest and Eagle LED. There's like a bunch of them. And I want to get a handful of these different systems and show some of the differences, right? And be able to show people how to do the installs. And what's the difference between chip on board versus what is it, SVB or something? I forget. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Peerless, the mount company, is kind of a leader, and Peerless is really, I know other companies do, I'm sure too, but I've got some friendships with people at Peerless, and they make some killer. I mean, they'll build you any kind of mount for any direct view LED. We don't call them micro, we call them direct view LEDs.
Yeah, DV LED.
Yeah, you got to get the right nomenclature going. But Peerless is going to be a leader in making mounts for those. But you're right, and what Typhoon said, in 10 years, I'm hoping that they'll be somewhat affordable. I mean, there's just nothing like them. I can tell you as a professional integrator for way too long that 99.9% of my clients, unless they're a small percentage that are movie fanatics, even so, you can still do a scope shape screen with a direct view LED, would all choose that because they always want bright and bold, and they just prefer that picture quality. And, all the people want to romanticize projectors. By the way, at 5,000, Sony's a good projector. Don't knock it. It's, but a lot of people,
no, this is good times.
They want to romanticize that, and I get it. But dude, all day long, I'll take direct view all day long over any projector. I don't care if it's a Christie with 14 lenses and, it burn your hand if you put it in. I'm telling you, the direct view is where it's at, dude.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. And I'm looking for those partners. And, there are 2 different technology lines right now. It's all the same stuff on the back end, but you have the full blown LED walls, DV LED LED walls, and you have the external offboard processing and all this stuff. But they also have the all in one LED walls now too, right? And so for in the U.S. market, you see that now marketed
Samsung,
under the Lunar brand from Just Video Walls. So
okay.
and I assume that Just Video Walls with that Lunar brand, they are rebranding an OEM from somebody.
Of course they are, but they're a good company, dude.
They are
Just
very
Video
good
Wall.
company.
They're pioneering this in my industry, and they're good people. They're knowledgeable.
They are.
I have no qualms with them.
Yeah,
at all.
and Skylar's a great guy. I talk with him,
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
once a week online. We chat
Okay.
back and forth on
Yeah,
Instagram.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. Yeah,
He's a good dude. And
Solid.
if anybody's got some bucks and they're looking for that technology, they're a good back end company. So I say talk to Don, and Don can line it up and do the paper, get the install ready for you. But I want to, talk back to the manufacturer and figure out how folks can do this at a lower price point and do it themselves. Right. And I know that with a full blown wall, that's a big task, right? Because programming the controller is no easy thing. Yeah.
If it's a wall, yeah, not 130
wall.
inches. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you can buy a kit.
I mean, like a 4x3 or a 5x4, the modules or whatever. So not like super, maybe not 220, but literally all the pieces, what's that? 15 modules with all the little plates that go on.
LG had a kit that was 136 inches diagonal. It came with a jack pack, so you could plug it in like a TV, which most of them don't have. It came with the frame and detailed instructions, so you, in theory, could absolutely DIY that.
Yeah, but they would probably charge
$76,000. So
there you go,
something like that.
So I'm looking for stuff that's in the sub 20 grand, but you're getting like 136-inch screen or something like that. That you can buy it direct for that cost, not from LG.
Not a high quality though.
I'm like a P1.2 or something.
Look, don't quote me because I put my foot in my mouth way too many times, but I'm relatively certain you're not going to get in a 4K, lots of smaller pixel pitch and all that for that. Unless that's changed. But it's funny that OG was 1080p and everybody's a video file. And, I would know if it's not 1080p. No, you wouldn't.
Nobody would.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking at it going, are you sure that's not 4K? Cool. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. So that's the rabbit hole that I'm going down, right? I don't know how I might be a complete failure with it. I don't know, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I'm just trying to find some people to work with on that one because I'm really excited about
your head of your time.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm thinking of even, taking a trip over to Shenzhen and visiting a bunch of these companies and look at their stuff and talking to them directly in person, and be a great vacation too, right? So,
would it?
Oh, absolutely. You stop off, you fly into the island, you go across. You go across and you go to Macau, right? And then you just take the train up to Shenzhen, right? I think it'd be spectacularly fun.
Sure,
I'm down. I'm down. I
zero desire to ever go to China, but
I've been to Beijing before, and I had a great time there. It was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll tell you all about it. But so that's another new thing in my life. Any other new things in your life you want to talk about? Any other cool hi-fi experiences or?
I'm in the middle of my reviews of a few products. I mentioned before the Arendal 1528. I'm kind of enamored with. I'm pretty blown away with that product for its money, for the price point. Really digging it. Had a Teams meeting with a couple of the engineers. Thomas was the lead guy on that, in Norway. Super cool people. Oh, I'm mad for Gladiator too.
Yeah, we'll get to it right after this, right?
It's nothing super eventful. Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2, here we go.
So the original Gladiator I saw at the theaters when it opened in 2000. Never forget it. It's one, as a man, I guess a woman too, I don't want to categorize it, but as a man, there's certain movies like Tombstone
Yeah,
Saving Private
so
Ryan,
good.
Braveheart, to me, Excalibur. But you know, and Gladiator is always been in my top 10, like movies that you just quote your whole life. They're just part of who you are. Like they're that good.
Yeah.
So Gladiator 2, I'm like, huh? How are they going to do that? And Ridley Scott's one of my favorite directors. But so the movie is a love letter to the original movie. It is a good by itself. It's a good popcorn movie to watch. Not the best CGI. The story is weak. Like it's basically it's like the Last Jedi was to, or what was or the Force Awakens was to Star Wars. I mean, it's kind of a copy. Not so much believable. You know, fantastic cast. Denzel Washington is Denzel Washington, so in a toga. Like King Kong ain't got nothing on me. You know, I mean, that's basically who he is in this movie, but he's always great. It's a good movie. It is not a Top Gun 2 worthy. You know, Top Gun 2 is one of the few movies that came back and was as good as, if not better than the original. This ain't that movie. So unless you're a big fan or you really like to go to the movies, wait for it to come out and home. Definitely worth seeing. This the sound. I'm big on scores. You know, big John Williams guy. Like I love in the score in that movie with Lisa Gerrard's kind of haunting sounds is always really moved me. This had little hints of that, but I thought they did a terrible job on the score. Yeah. So Matt Toronto, that's the actual Excalibur sword there, like a real carbon, like $1,000 copy of their. I'm a nerd.
That's cool. I just bought Excalibur on Kaleidoscape just now. Right now. I just went over and bought.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, of course I've seen it, but I don't own it on Kaleidoscape.
Oh, dude, it's like I can. Every time I watch it, which is about once a month, my girlfriend gets annoyed because I recite the whole movie as we go.
That's awesome. I just bought it. I'm going to watch it now. It's going to be our Thanksgiving movie.
He's like, it was made the year I was born. That was the first titties I ever saw on cable was Excalibur. So I'll never forget that.
Nice.
Say titties. I'm sorry.
You can. I don't think that's forbidden. There's some things that you can't say, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I love the CGI imaging of ancient places, especially Rome.
Yeah, the CGI just wasn't good.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He saw it in the theater. Well done, sir.
Well, I mean, it came out after Star Wars. I saw Star Wars opening day. I did not see Excalibur at the theater. I saw it on cable, you know, with the dial on top of the TV.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm that old.
Man. That's cool. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so we are at the end. We're at the top of the hour. We're 3 minutes over. This is the last chance. If anybody has anything they want to get in, or anything they want to ask, you got about 30 seconds to type it in. Otherwise, we're going to put a pin in this one. But before we put a pin in it, here we go. He saw it on VHS. Another. I want to get it on Laserdisc. I've got a Laserdisc player, and I bought the little HDMI adapter so I could plug it into the Trinog.
Did you?
It doesn't work though. I don't know if it's the Laserdisc player that's bad, or if it's the stupid adapter thing that I got off of Amazon that's bad.
Well, I was at Circuit City in 1996, right before I left, and I set up the first AC3 surround system. It was a Onkyo TX SV828 THX with an ED901 outboard AC3 processor
adapter, yeah.
And I had a Pioneer Laserdisc player AC3 output, and I played The Lion King on title playlist. Yeah, how can I put that up? I can't put it up right now.
If you send it to me, I'll put it in the notes.
Okay, all right, cool. But yeah, I set up a whole, and that was pretty cool, man. I don't know, that was a long time ago. But you know, do you remember when it was called AC3? Are you that old?
Oh yeah, I remember AC3. Totally. I never had any of the stuff. I never had a Laserdisc player until I just got this one about a month ago, and I just plugged it in for the first. So, and I was all excited, and I thought it was all just going to work. And I put the disc in, and the machine spins and everything, but just nothing. No sound, no video. So it's got to be that stupid adapter that I bought an HDMI adapter. So I plugged the composite into the
Yeah,
HDMI
it's video
adapter.
composite.
Yeah, and then that goes into my Trinov, which obviously doesn't have composite inputs, right?
It's
So,
about
but
all it doesn't have. Well, that was my whole world back in the day. It was, then Component came out. Woo, Component video.
oh yeah,
I missed Component. You know why? Because
why is
Component
that?
always worked.
Yeah,
Always worked.
that's cool. So apparently you got a Bad Piranha into Title.
I got
You
what?
and Gene.
Oh yeah. Title's killer, man. Title and Cobuzz. I mean, they're like, and I'm an audiophile. Like I have high end stuff, and I always have for years. And CD players, turntables, yada yada yada. But man, to me, we live in a renaissance of music because I literally can just sit down with my phone and my systems and just whatever I can think of is there, and it's in high resolution. It's legit high resolution.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. All right. So a couple of closing thoughts. Thanksgiving, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Black Friday, if you guys are looking for deals, now's the time. Good time to buy. And I would love to hear about the things that everybody adds to their systems over time. So another thing that I like to do is if any of the viewers out there have a system that they want to show off, you're more than welcome. Just let me know. We can bring you into the show, and you can bring your phone on and join it up and walk around, and we'd love to show off what you got. Right. So I think that would be super fun.
With
Anytime
clothes on.
well, that we have the OnlyFans version of this show.
OnlyFans. Giles McCoy, OnlyFans after hours.
Giles and Don, OnlyFans. nude hi-fi reviews and theater tours.
Everybody be safe. Seriously, get lots of good food. Fellowship. Don't talk about politics, please. Just eat.
No, that we are non-politics.
Yeah, we are absolutely gender neutral on that. So
yeah, absolutely. But everybody out there, again, thanks for joining and watching and supporting, and hopefully we can support you back as well. Have a great holiday. And with that, Don, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Always.
We'll call it. See you guys next
crowd, man.
next Tuesday.
Love you, people.
See you guys.